Hello everyone and welcome to what my life has been for the past week, known only as Xenoblade Chronicles X. And well, it's been like that because I've wanted to get as far into this game as possible to give you guys the best review I can. So, I'm about halfway through the story now, so it will not be a complete review, but I've gone over pretty much everything that I think I need to know to give you guys the information you should have before deciding whether or not to buy the game. And well, with that being said, there probably, hopefully, is no spoilers in here. I tried to not make any story spoilers or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. And with all of that out of the way, let's hop into the beautiful world known only as Mira. Xenoblade Chronicles X is a JRPG, or a Japanese role-playing game, developed by Monolith Soft and released in North America on December 4th. The original game, Xenoblade Chronicles, was released in Japan and gained enough of a following to be released in Europe and then later in North America, giving it enough steam to grant a sequel, even though from what I can see so far in the game, it has no ties between the two games, besides a few Easter eggs scattered around here and there. The story of Xenoblade Chronicles X takes place in the year 2054, and after the destruction of Earth. But interestingly enough, it wasn't destroyed by an alien invasion and not by our own means. We ended up just being a rat in the middle of a battlefield, interestingly enough. Two hyper-advanced alien civilizations at war with each other just happened to bring their fight to our doorstep and instantly wipe the human race from existence by accident. But thankfully, the humans developed a plan titled Exodus to send ships out of Earth to find another planet to live on. And only 2 years later, the human ship is attacked by aliens once again, causing the ship to crash into a nearby planet known as Mira. At this point, it is the humans' job to explore this new planet, learn to live with the surrounding wildlife, and survive any way they possibly can. And only a few months after landing on the planet, you are awoken from your stasis pod and saved by another human known as Elma. And well, this is where the game starts. There's plenty more to the story and tons of plot twists thrown at you left and right, but I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, and to be truthful, I'm still a bit confused with the story myself, since I don't have all the information yet. But let's move forward a bit and talk about the base mechanics of Xenoblade X. Combat is very similar to Xenoblade Chronicles, where you find an enemy you would like to attack, lock onto it, and begin auto-attacking once you enter range. But it's not all auto-attacking. Each character has a set of arts they can use. They vary from granting defense, healing you or your teammates, or just causing some extra damage in battle. You will quickly find these arts to be your bread and butter in combat, and without them, you would be screwed. Each of these arts can also have special abilities, like backslash deals extra damage when attacking enemies from behind. Or if you wait for your art's secondary cooldown to finish, which is the green bar around it, you can get other special effects like more damage or instant reuse of that ability. Later into the game, you'll also receive a new form of attacking called Overdrive, which is this game's version of chain attacks. But instead of slowing down time, this really speeds things up, causing all of your arts to cool down extremely quickly, and even allowing you to gain tertiary cooldowns, causing more damage or even more effects. This combat is something I never found myself getting tired of, especially after how stale the turn-based combat of old has gotten. It's very refreshing to see, and I love it. Walking in a field and seeing monsters roaming around, drinking out of a lake, or interacting with one another while you try to avoid fighting them is much more enjoyable than walking in an empty field and waiting for a battle to just appear out of thin air. It creates an immersive environment that I instantly fell in love with, and I think you will too. And with that being said, I think we should probably talk a bit about the world Xenoblade X brings to us. The original game was well known for its massive landscapes and ability to go pretty much anywhere you could see, and Xenoblade Chronicles X expands on that tenfold. The first area you enter is known as Primordia, a mostly grass-covered continent that is filled with massive rock formations and, most importantly, the town you live in. And well, it can take you a while to explore this beauty. And pretty much anywhere you can see, you can go, and beyond. Yep, Primordia is one of 5 continents in Xenoblade Chronicles X to explore, and I've put over 40 hours into this game and still haven't seen everything there is to see. I've only seen a part of 2 continents, most of Primordia, and I haven't even taken a look at the other 2. I find myself getting sidetracked all the time too, seeing something cool off in the distance and asking myself, ooh, what could that be? And then walking away from my current mission that has me saving children from a burning building. Yeah, priorities, right? But this game does reward you for exploring. Exploring can grant you experience and new fast travel points, or you can even find some secret areas where you can get tons of awesome items. I find myself too often just staring into the field ahead of me, looking at the beautiful creatures and wondering, when will I be able to kill that giant level 92 monster, because I would love to see him die one day. Does that make me a freak? Probably, but it's a game and I'm having fun with it, so who cares? But besides the extremely beautiful and impressive land to explore, there's also the city that you'll find yourself spending a good chunk of your time in. The city is divided into 5 separate districts: the industrial, commercial, residential, and administrative districts. And there is also an underdeveloped district that does have a use later into the game, but I'm not going to spoil anything about it. Most of these districts have no specific use, and I think it would have been cool if you could actually do some fashion shopping or training in these areas, but they're mostly for talking to other humans in the city and gaining side quests. The only district you will find yourself actually getting use from is the administrative district. This area includes your home, the mission board, squad information, which I'll cover in a bit, and the Skell Hangar, another component of the game I'll cover in a minute. But first, let's cover missions. Obviously the most important part of an RPG, and this game is stacked with them. Besides your main story missions, you'll find yourself completing plenty of side quests, having you defeat strong monsters, a bunch of tiny monsters, finding items, or other entertaining missions like helping a clumsy girl fix a coffee machine she broke while trying to make you coffee. There's also affinity missions, which are missions that unlock as you gain a relationship with your teammates. To advance in the story, you will always have to complete a certain requirement before accepting the task at hand. This could be anything from exploring a certain part of the land, being a certain level, having a certain affinity with a teammate, or finishing a specific mission. It's the game's way of trying to make sure you're the right level before jumping into a mission you aren't ready for. And this is important, especially since after you accept a story or affinity mission, you can't change to a different story or affinity mission until that one is complete. And if you are getting whomped by a boss, there is an option after losing 3 times in a row to lower the difficulty of said boss, which is really nice. All of these missions have their own little flair to them, and just like Xenoblade Chronicles, are filled with great humor that will keep you laughing and enjoying the dialogue for the long run. Leveling up your character for all of these missions is also important, and to be truthful, can be looked over pretty easily, since whenever you level up you have to manually go to your arts and level up which ones you like, and change your gear whenever you get new stuff. It can all be very offsetting to newcomers, and even to me, it's a bit much at times. Leveling up will allow you to upgrade your arts, choose from multiple different classes with their own weapons and arts to choose from, skills for each class that can be leveled up, attributes that can be equipped to your armor, leveling up stores so you can buy better weapons and gear, and soul voices that activate chains in battle for more damage. All of this can be overwhelming, and the game does throw you into it all. Reading the manual is a must, since a lot of the pop-ups don't really explain everything you need to know, and if you skip it by accident, you're kinda screwed. Another gripe I have is that the graphics are a bit iffy here and there, and I know it's not super important, but I need to mention it. Since the game is running on a Wii U, the game is only in 720p, but it looks gorgeous. But while in the city, textures can sometimes appear blurry until they load or till you get closer to them, and things like cars and people won't load sometimes till you're standing right next to them. The outside world though is outstanding, and it's really hard to notice these issues out there. It's just really in the city where you'll find all of these problems. The last big issue I have with the game is the party system, and I don't mean how it's laid out, because the menu interface and working with your party is great, but adding new people to your party is a bit of a pain. If you'd like to remove a member of your party, you have to go into your menu and select the member you want to remove. Easy enough, but let's say you want to put someone else in to replace that member. Well, you have to find where they are inside the city, go to where they're located and ask them to join your party. This can be a hassle, and if it wasn't for the map on the gamepad having a little mark for where your partners are, it would be impossible to find them. But enough of the bad stuff. It's time for the thing that most of you have probably been waiting for: skells. What are skells, you may ask? Well, they are giant mechs, basically, that's it. You can pilot them around and they can even transform into vehicles, and these things make exploring and battling way more interesting. Traveling the land with these massive robots can make crossing a field that took you multiple minutes before flash by in a few seconds, and battles with the skells allow you to take on enemies you may have been afraid to tackle before. Just don't get too ahead of yourself. The first thing I did when getting my skell was fight some monsters a couple levels above me, and well, I mopped the floor with them. So I said, hey, why not? Let's fight the giant level 50 dinosaur who's approximately twice my level. And well, I died instantly, within a few hits actually. Thankfully though, every skell comes with insurance, so your first 3 skell destructions are covered. After that, you'll have to pay a hefty fee to get it repaired or buy a new one. Skells also have their own way of battling, where their arts are not given to them like a player, but are a part of the weapons they have attached to them. So before going out into the battlefield, you may want to spend some cash and pimp out your skell, giving it all the gear it can handle and giving it some good moves to use. Because if not, you may find yourself with no arts. And this is the point where I stopped playing the game to start the review, since I wanted a little time in the skell before starting this review. And to be truthful, it took me about 40 hours of gameplay before I was able to get myself inside a skell. And well, it was worth it. The game hypes them up pretty well, and once you get inside one, you realize why. Plus, later into the game, you can actually get a flight module that allows your skell to fly, making it even easier to travel around the world, which I cannot wait to get. Now, the music in the game is something I'm still surprisingly not sure about. I find myself always enjoying it, but finding it very weird, with a lot of the tracks being different from one another. Some are instrumental and some are vocal. Some are rap tracks and some are soft, beautiful music. It's definitely a weird soundtrack that you should judge for yourself, because I have no clue what to think about it. The last thing I need to talk about is the online this game features, which actually allows you to play with friends, but in a very limited way. When starting the game, you'll be placed into a squad of 32 players. Those players can work together to defeat enemies and make a larger monster appear later on and work together to take it down. But you can also start up squad missions with a friend and kill some monsters or do a few quests together online, though you have to jump through some hoops to actually do this. And you can't actually explore the world together or do any story missions, which sucks a little bit. Besides that though, you'll also see people in your squad scattered around the world, and you can recruit them as your teammates to help you fight as an NPC. Plus, you can see achievements your squad has recently gotten in the top left corner of your game. On top of this, you can also post to Miiverse and share your messages with your squad, but I have this function disabled, and from what I've heard from friends, it's probably best to disable this feature, since a lot of people will spam these messages to get you to like their post or follow them on Miiverse, and it can get really annoying at times, so if you want, you can go into the settings and turn this off by disabling Blade report sharing. And I know I've probably missed a bunch of things, but that's just it. Xenoblade Chronicles X is a giant game that you will want to explore on your own and find all of the ins and outs about it. If you are someone like me who just likes exploring a giant massive world, this game is for you. If you're a huge RPG fan, again, this game is for you. But just a warning, this is an RPG and you will find yourself grinding very often, just like any other JRPG. It's not a game for newcomers to the JRPG franchise, but I believe if you own a Wii U, you should give it a try. This game was personally one of the reasons I bought a Wii U, and I have to say it was well worth it. And that is everything. And like I said before, if I missed anything, I am completely sorry, but there's just so much to go over. From the world, the missions, the characters, the mechanics. I could go on for hours, and well, no one wants to watch a multi-hour long video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my review on Xenoblade Chronicles X. I hope it helped you decide whether or not you wanted this game, and well, if you want to check out my Let's Play, you can click over here, and you will see my Let's Play on my other channel, Xenoblade Chronicles X. And if not, well, then I'll see you guys in the next video. I just have to give a huge shout out to my super Patreon supporters, because without you guys, I would not be making the content I am right now. Thank you to Rob Liberty, Brad Moore, Andre Joulard, Thomas Bethel, and the YouTubers Cray Trey, What a James, Legend Gary, and Alomarain.